Good morning, everyone, and today we will be playing another modern mono-green Tron list. Same one as before. I'm not going to add Dismember to the deck list yet. I'm not entirely satisfied with doing that. It is better versus a couple of other decks, but I think it's so bad versus aggro it may not be worth. I probably will end up testing that pretty soon, but for now, just run our list through a Modern League. Alrighty, round one, here we go. We'll play first. Mull to 6, we can do better than that. We might have a better 5. Alright, going to 4. A great way to start a league. Also, wow, on the, one thing that I haven't really considered is, like, how good the London Mulligan has made like a lot of what I'm doing here. Okay, put back Ugin, Thragtusk, and O-Stone. This way, if we draw Sphere or Star, we can get our last land. We have an extra redraw off of Relic if we need it. We have Grave Hate if our opponent is Dredge. They Thought Sees us. They take Sylvan Scrying, that's fine. Okay. Untap. Draw Wormcoil. Play Tower, pass the turn. Alright, opponent plays a Creeping Tar Pit, so there's some kind of controlling list, maybe? I'm gonna exile Relic to get an extra draw here. Get a Forest. Let's play Sphere. I'm okay cracking Sphere immediately, because we do have a Forest if we do need green mana again. Draw Urza's Tower. Yeah, we'll play the Tower. Pass the turn. So even had I played the Forest there, if I top decked the Sylvan Scrying, I wouldn't be able to play Wormcoil. I at most would have 5 mana. Tapping a 2 mana Tron land and a Forest would give me 3, and then the remaining 2. We draw Karn, play a Forest, pass the turn. If we draw Urza's Mine, we can cast Wormcoil through a Remand. It appears to be Grixis Control, maybe? I just don't know what else plays these lands. It could even technically be the list I was playing the other day. Though it's not likely because we would see a lot more islands out of them. Okay, we untap. We draw Karn, Great Creator. Well, that's something to do with our mana, so cast it. So go ahead and wish. We could get Relic out of exile. Kinda want to take Spyglass and see what my opponent's doing, just because I don't know. Trinisphere is probably technically good. And so is Sundering Titan. Sundering Titan would be great as well. I think I'm going to take Sundering Titan so that we can just cast big threats every single turn. I suspect my opponent let Karn resolve because they have a bolt for him. Okay, they Thought Scour themselves. They're playing Gurmag Angler. This might be an older Death Shadow list. Could be Kolaghan's Command taking Karn to 1, picking up Gurmag, or making us discard. Okay, they ping Karn. Pick up Gurmag. Gonna plays an island. Thought Scours themselves. So it's kind of looking like they're gonna play Gurmag here, and they're gonna have Stubborn Denial back up. If Stubborn Denial is their only counterspell, and we get Tron, Sundering Titan is going to be amazing, because Sundering Titan can't be Stubborn Denialed. Neither can Wormcoil, but Sundering Titan can take out like all of their lands. It will take out our Forest if we play it, though. And opponent also has a Seasoned Pyromancer. Discarding Inquisition and Castle Lochthwain. Alright, we untap. We draw Mine. Play Mine. We have 11 mana, so not enough that we can play 2 things. Guess we'll uptick Karn, because we can. And I think denying my opponent's mana is probably best here. Yeah. Play Sundering Titan. Okay, we'll take out Island, Blood Crypt, and Mountain, as well as our Forest. Alright, pass the turn. Opponent throws everything at us. Block Gurmag Angler. Surprised they didn't attack Karn. Oh, they play another Angler. Okay. Thoughtseize, they can take Karn or they can take Wormcoil. They take Wormcoil and concede. Alright, well we beat our opponent on a mull of 4? That was pretty good. I kind of want Veil of Summers versus this deck. Let me see if I can find a list that runs Gurmag Angler. Okay, so Death Shadow lists are currently running Gurmag Angler. At least a few of them are. Out of the sideboard, they have basically Ashiok. So nothing we need to wilt. Spatial Contortion's pretty bad. Okay. So versus our opponent's deck, I think Relic is actually kind of good. This is kind of tough. I think I'm actually going to cut O-Stone and a Tome, and I think an Ugin. Ugin is really good versus their deck. Okay, this is good enough. I think I'm going to keep. This is potentially a turn 3 Tron into Karn Great Creator. Karn Great Creator is worse during against my opponent's deck because they are main decking. Alright, well, I mean, if we're just going to draw Tron, that's fine. They are main decking Mulligan's Command, so a lot of our artifacts that we could wish for are way worse. Okay, opponent starts by Thought Scouring themselves. They shock a Steam Vents. They play Thassa's Oracle. That's weird. Are they also playing Inverter? We untap and draw Veil of Summer. So I'm going to crack Star for green. We'll draw. And then I'm just going to play Chromatic Star and pass. If my opponent casts a Thoughtseize, I want to be able to cast Veil of Summer. This version runs Damping Sphere. Alright. Well, that's 2 cards that are not seen in the lists that I was looking up. Okay. So untap. We draw a Forest. So let's crack for green. Get a Sylvan Scrying. Play Ancient Stirrings. I guess we could get Blast Zone. Yeah, Blast Zone is fine. Can't put any counters on it until next turn. So I think I'm going to play Tower and Maze Mind Tome now. Oh, Damping Sphere. Never mind. Pass the turn. I should have played a Forest to hold up Veil, but I did not. So I've opened myself up to hand hate. Opponent bolts my face. Plays a Castle Vantress. Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. Yeah, I suspect my opponent has like an Inverter of Truth or some way to mill themselves really quickly. Play Blast Zone. Yeah, we'll pass. This is a really slow way to remove Damping Sphere. Okay, opponent plays a Blood Crypt untapped. 4 mana. They do have Inverter of Truth. Okay. So this is like transformational sideboard Death Shadow? Because we didn't see any of these cards, I think. Oh, it exiles them face down. I forgot about that. It'd be nice if it at least showed you what your opponent was doing. Well, we're doing this. Put a charge counter on Blast Zone. Yeah. Alright. So Death Shadow / Inverter. We have to bring in Wilts. Relic is both hurtful and helpful. I think I'd rather not worry about it. So I'm just going to take Relic out. I'll try it like this. Alright, well, we got a turn 3 Tron hand, which is pretty good. They can Inquisition. They're going to take Sylvan Scrying because they have to keep us off of Tron, I think. Okay. Maze Mind Tome's not a bad backup plan. It's just not as good. Okay, we get an Ancient Stirrings. Let's crack for green, see what we draw. Veil of Summer. I think we're going to Ancient Stirrings here. And we'll take Chromatic Sphere because we can play that off of 1 Tron land. Does get us an additional redraw and potentially could let us cast a Veil later if we need to. We untap, we draw Maze Mind Tome. I don't think keeping this for Veil is right. Okay, play Urza's Power Plant. We're going to play Maze Mind Tome and leave up Veil of Summer. Then Scry. Karn to the bottom. Pass the turn. We played that without using the green mana, basically in case our opponent did have a counterspell of some kind. They get a Watery Grave tapped. They untap. They play a Bloodstained Mire. Correct Bloodstained Mire for a Watery Grave untapped. Okay, it looks like a Mulligan's command. They might just kill this and make us discard. Yep. We're going to discard Veil of Summer because we have no way to reasonably cast that. We might top deck away, but I can't rely on that. So we're going to untap. We draw Forest. Play Maze Mind Tome. Play Forest, and this time we're going to draw an extra card. Okay. Map does get us to our third Tron piece. Hopefully we can just draw it at this point, though, because we've gone through, like, the top 20 cards of our deck. Alright, we untap. Draw Tower. Technically, should have scryed there, but I got distracted. I was also thinking I might want to draw extra cards here. So play Tower. We now have 10 mana. Play Karn. Kill Gurmag. Yeah, we'll play Map. Pass the turn. Opponent plays an island. They're kind of running out of cards. It looks like they kept a pretty land-heavy hand. If they don't have enough burn to kill Karn right now, I think they're going to be in a huge, huge problem, I guess. Pickle? I don't know. Okay, opponent plays Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. They mill themselves and draw a card. Milling Ashiok and Thassa's Oracle. So let's go ahead and activate Map. I'm not sure if we take Tower or Sanctum. I think we take Sanctum. Go ahead and scry. Ancient Stirrings I'm going to leave on top. Untap. Draw Ancient Stirrings. Cast Ancient Stirrings. Second Karn. Kill Jace. Play Sanctum. Play Karn. Go get Ulamog. Resolve Karn. I think my opponent has an inverter. I don't have a way to deal with cards in Grave, so we have to just attack their mana. So nuke Watery Grave. Draw an extra card. Play Star. Pass the turn. Because if they have Inverter, all they can do this turn is cast Inverter. And if they cast Inverter, we nuke their blue sources and they lose. Okay, Inverter of Truth. Putting Thassa's Oracle and Ashiok Dream Render on top of their deck. They lose the rest of their deck, though. We're going to take out 3 of their lands. Okay, we untap. Jeez, Moto, overlapping sound effects. No, don't want to do that. Hang on. Okay. Cast Ulamog. Nuke the blue sources. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Well, I'm glad we beat Inverter. I really don't like that deck. Round 2, here we go. Try playing first. We can do better than this. We can do better than this, too. It actually isn't that bad of a hand. Multiple Ancient Stirrings is really powerful. We're going to 5. Okay, we're going to 4. Our Tron deck is being like this today. You know what? Perfect. It's not quite perfect. Technically, the perfect hand would be like land Karn, or land map land Karn. This would be the ideal 5, because we could star into scrying into Karn. But unfortunately, we do not have that luxury. So I will keep this. I'm going to put back Sphere, Wormcoil, and Karn. Start Mine, Star. Now we just have to worry about drawing a bomb by turn 3, and honestly, Star helps. Okay. When it plays Radiant Fountain, gains 2 life. It's Amulet. Oh dear. I think Amulet's a pretty bad matchup for us. So let's crack for green. Draw Maze Mind Tome, play Tower. Scrying, get Power Plant. Pass the turn. And if we could top deck a Karn, that'd be fantastic. Second Amulet. Oh no. Some of their most absurd hands are double Amulet hands. So opponent makes 4 mana on turn 2. Plays Azusa. Makes 4 more mana. Plays Dryad. Okay. They have Gruul Turf and 1 Unknown in hand. I really hope it's not Primeval Titan. If it's Primeval Titan, we lose. There's nothing we can top deck that will actually matter. Wow. Alright, yeah, that's a pretty perfect 7-card hand, I think. So the only reason I say we can't do anything about this is we would have to top deck Karn Liberated to deal with Titan. And my opponent odds, like, right now can just get Talaria West, Simic Bounce Land, and then transmute Talaria West and have a second Titan in the pipeline, as well as attacking and killing our Karn, which means we'd have to top deck for 2 turns in a row. Like, really well, to just even stand a chance. And if we don't answer Primeval Titan before it attacks, it's game. Because they're just going to, like, get too much advantage, and there's nothing we can do about that. Like, our best play would be something like Ugin, but we can't play Ugin next turn. Oh, never mind, they can just get Ghost Quarter, because I forgot this deck main deck's Ghost Quarter. So yeah, not only like, this is why this deck is such a bad matchup. They can play a massive threat and interrupt our Tron on turn 2, when the only answer to their threat is a turn 3 Tron. Yeah, there's no way of coming back from this. And I'm not confident that there's actually a way that we can really beat our opponent's deck. I don't think there's really a configuration of Tron that beats Amulet Titan. There might be, but honestly, if there is, you have to sacrifice too many things, and you'll lose too many other matchups. So, like, unless you're playing in an exclusively Amulet Titan meta, I would not even try to beat it with Tron. Alright, we'll play first. Okay. Natural Tron, Karn, and a Wilt. I may take a turn off of Tron if they start turn 1 Amulet. Play mine, pass the turn. It plays Crumbling Vestige into a Soccer Tribe Scout. Okay. Play Power Plant. Pass the turn. So our opponent gets to play 2 lands next turn. Soccer Tribe Scout being an exploration with Summoning Sickness is still pretty good. It's interesting to me because, like, a lot of the... I'm glad that, like, depowered versions of powerful cards exist in Modern. Like, Soccer Tribe Scout is exploration, you know, you can play, what is it? Oh my god, you can play Ancestral Recall if you're playing Mill, like that sort of a thing. Alright, players is Tower. Play Karn. If I down-tick on a land, they'll just put a bounce land into play and pick up the land that I'm trying to down-tick on. So I either have to down-tick on a Soccer Tribe Scout, or I have to uptick on their hand. Take out the Soccer Tribe Scout. I do not like this play. Because, like, any hand of 7 that my opponent would have kept probably beats this line. And this is one of our best lines. Yeah, I'm really glad I didn't down-tick on a land. If our opponent plays a Dryad, we can wilt it. We're going to have to uptick Karn, because they're probably going to attack Karn. If they don't attack Karn, they have an even scarier line. Okay, opponent plays Dryad. Plays a Crumbling Vestige, adds mana. Plays a Valakut, and then passes. We untap and draw Ugin. So let's uptick on our opponent's hand. Basically because Soccer Tribe Scout makes any downtick really bad. We got a Force of Vigor. We can wilt and play Wormcoil and then hold on to Ugin. I kind of like that. Wilt means we're not going to die to Valakut immediately. Play Wormcoil. Pass the turn. Alright, opponent did have a bounce land. So they're probably going to play Primeval Titan now. And hopefully we can Ugin, exile, wipe the board. Like, Karn, take out a Field of the Dead or Valakut. And then... Yep. Okay, so their turn Timber Symbiosis, they're going to go get a Titan, except they whiffed, so they concede. Alright. I think our follow-up was not too bad. We could have wiped the board with Ugin and then down tick to take out Field of the Dead. Opponent played Crumbling Vestige first so that they would have 7 lands if they hit a Titan. So they were going for Field of the Dead there. They would have had a lot of mana, but then they would have been completely top decking. And I'm not saying the deck has bad top decks because it doesn't. But okay, I'm gonna drop Thragtusk for Spatial Contortion, just for Soccer Tribe Scout, basically. Dismember would be better here because it could kill the Dryads of the Elysian Grove and stuff. All right, well, I'm not going to not keep a natural Tron hand, so we'll see what happens. Okay, opponent starts Amulet, which is the better of their 2/1 drops. Play Mine and Sphere. So for us to really have a chance, our opponent has to have a weak turn 2, and we have to top deck like Wilt off of Sphere. If that doesn't happen and we lose, I'm not going to feel bad about it. And opponent plays a Golgari Rot Farm. Yeah, the fact that they bounced Rot Farm to itself tells me they're doing a lot this turn. Oh, maybe not. Maybe they're just holding up Spell Pierce. Next turn they'll have 6 mana. Mon Wilt, Sylvan Scrying. Sylvan Scrying doesn't do it. So let's start by cracking for green. Draw Karn Great Creator, play Power Plant, play Maze Mind Tome, Scry. Ancient Stirrings to the bottom. Pass the turn. Okay. Opponent plays Rot Farm, untaps it, bounces it. Plays Rot Farm, untaps it, bounces Forest, plays Titan. Probably getting Hanweir, Battlements, and Valakut. I can't imagine why they wouldn't here. That gives them 2 extra lands, yeah. Okay. They give Primetime Haste. They'll hit us for 8. So next turn, we draw up to 7 cards in hand. We play Tower. We play Karn. We're down to 5. We can wish for Ensnaring Bridge and play Ensnaring Bridge, and that way Titan can't attack. But we're probably dead to... Oh, never mind. They're just going to Ghost Quarter us again. Never mind. I always forget that that's a line for them. And it's a really good line, because it completely invalidates our game plan. And even if we had been on the play this game, with our opponent making all of the same plays they did, because it's not like we interacted with each other, we would still be dead. Because there's just nothing we can do about that. Alright, see you guys round 3. Alright. Play first. Tron and 2/3 of Tron and 2 redraws is actually really tempting. I think I'm going to keep this because the number of top decks we have that are good is so high. Plus, it's an unknown opponent. One other thing that you do have to recognize, so this is kind of... I know I mulligan very aggressively with Tron, and I would maintain that that is correct almost always. However, if you keep a hand of 7, your percentages are slightly better for top decks. Because you have less cards in your library that you have to dig through. So if you mull to 5, it's like every extra card is around off of 53 cards, it's something like 1.6% difference for the first couple of cards in either direction. So it's something you have to be aware of if you are keeping a hand of 7. If you have enough redraws, it's probably worth it to do it. Pass the turn, play Relic. Opponent Vials in 0. I would laugh really hard if they put an Ornithopter into play, because it's like, you know, you're playing humans. Okay, opponent Vials in a 1-drop. It's Champion. Thalia would be really annoying. Yep. Okay. Thalia just means we can't crack Relic and play and activate Maze Mind Tome. Let's see what we draw. Okay, Wormcoil Engine. Play a Forest. Play Maze Mind Tome. The good news is we're playing a version of this deck that has Ugin in it. Urza's Tower to the bottom. Pass the turn. We can't play Ugin on 8, something we need to be aware of because Thalia. Alright. Opponent ticks up Aether Vial to 2. Plays an unclaimed territory. We're going to Vial in a 2-drop. Probably a Thalia's Lieutenant. Meddling Mage. Alright. Karn, Great Creator. I guess that would be the most easily castable of our threats. Plays a Noble Hierarch. And another Noble Hierarch. We're going to be dead very fast. When it hits us for 7. So we need to find Power Plant to play Wormcoil Engine. So untap, scry with Maze Mind Tome. Sylvan Scrying costs 3 mana, and we're probably dead next turn? The odds of us getting a Power Plant are not high this turn. So my opponent can attack us for 9 at minimum. If they have Mantis Rider, we're dead. I think I have to keep this Sylvan Scrying. It's not great, but this might be our best bet here. Get Power Plant. Play Power Plant. I could technically have gotten Blast Zone, but I don't think it's actually going to matter that much. And I'm just going to crack Relic now, so I can have 6, because we're not doing anything else. Okay. If my opponent can't kill us, we can play Ugin next turn, and we exile their entire board, they have no cards in hand, and they lose. Almost 100%. And take up Aether Vial to 3. Like, Thalia's Lieutenant kills us, Mantis Rider kills us, Champion of the Parish does not kill us, double white, pretty sure this is Thalia's Lieutenant. Oh, it's just another Thalia Guardian of Thraben. Okay. And they're doing that to just get extra triggers, I guess. So they attack us for 11, we go to 2. Alright. They have to not top deck Mantis Rider, and Ugin has to be enough here. Scry. I'm going to keep Stirrings. Okay. So Ugin costs 9 mana. Play Ugin. Well, minus 2. Then cast Stirrings. Karn Great Creator seems good here. Rest of the bottom. We have to fade 1 draw. Potentially a redraw if my opponent drew a Horizon Canopy. Okay. We untap. We draw another Karn Liberated. Play Great Creator. Okay, there'll be no Aether Vialing this turn. Let's go ahead and wish for, I think, Trinisphere. Excuse me. We currently have 6 mana, so play a Forest. They don't have any hasty 2-drops. Play Karn. Nuke Cavern. Uptick Ugin. And then gain 4 life. I guess with Maze Mind Tome, we weren't technically dead to Mantis Rider. I completely forgot about that. We haven't been actually getting to the point where we can activate Maze Mind Tome 4 times that often, but the repeated scrying is still usually really beneficial. Awesome. Barely stabilized. Let's take a look at humans lists really quick. So they play Gaddock Teague out of the sideboard, along with like Archon of Emeria, Aven Mind Sensor, Skyclave Apparition. So we do want Spatial Contortion. I don't think we want Wilt. Weather the Storm might actually be useful. Relic is not. So I'll bring a Weather the Storm over Relic, and we'll try it like that. Okay, can't keep that. Can't keep that either, it's pretty close. Significantly better. I will keep this. We're going to put back Karn Liberated, and I think we actually put back Karn Great Creator. Weather the Storm was the other option, and Weather the Storm would have been a completely fine thing to put back. Okay, opponent plays Aether Vial to start. I'm actually kind of regretting putting back Karn Great Creator now. I think that may have been a mistake. We'll find out. Urza's Mine, play Sphere, pass the turn. Opponent takes up Aether Vial to 1, plays an Unclaimed Territory. Opponent plays Kitesail Freebooter so they can take Maze Mind Tome. Okay, we untap. We draw Expedition Map. Play Power Plant. I'm not going to play Map this turn. Because next turn we can play it and crack it. This turn I kind of just want to leave up Weather the Storm. If my opponent plays anything, we just crack for green, play Weather the Storm. Okay. Is this another Freebooter? Alright, opponent plays a Thalia's Lieutenant. Puts the trigger on the stack, and puts in another Freebooter, I assume. Okay. So I am going to crack and cast Weather the Storm here. I probably should have played Expedition Map, but it wasn't likely that they had a second Freebooter. And generally, they usually line Freebooter up with a Meddling Mage, and we drew Expedition Map, and our opponent, if they played a Meddling Mage, would not know to have named Expedition Map because we top-decked it. So, we're just going to cast Weather the Storm there to buy us a little bit of extra time. We can top-deck a ton of things here. Another map is good, Sylvan Scrying is good, Ancient Stirrings is good, Tower is Tron. Like, we'll play Sanctum of Ugin. Pass the turn, because our opponent knows about that, and we're not doing anything with Tron this turn anyway. If our opponent has a way to interact with Tron, the only one that they would play preemptively would be Archon of Emeria, which I guess I kind of played into, but that is a sideboard card, and I don't think they would really play Archon against us. Okay, Thalia, Guardian of Thraben is a little bit annoying, because we can't just top-deck Ugin now. Mantis Rider also increases their clock, but they didn't even attack with it, which seems like a mistake. They missed 3 damage. We go to 16, so it looks like we're dead in 2 turns. We have 2 draws. Alright, there's an O-Stone. O-Stone is 4 mana to play and 5 mana to activate. I think it's more likely for them to have more Hand Hate or a Meddling Mage than it is for them to have a Skyclave Apparition. I could have also played around this, or also played kind of around this a little bit, but I think this is safer. I could have still hidden the fact that we had drawn Tron. I think we're dead if our opponent has another Anthem creature. Another Thalia's Lieutenant, I mean. Alright, Thalia's Lieutenant I think does it. 13, yep. Even missing 3 damage, they had 4 damage overkill. Yeah, so the only way that we would have beaten that is if that Sanctum of Ugin had been another Tron land. And even then, I'm not really sure we would have beaten it. Alright, we're going to be on the play for game 3. Walking Ballista might be better than Spatial Contortion, but I think I'd rather have it as a wish target. I don't think I want it in the main deck. The ceiling for Weather the Storm is huge. The ceiling for Walking Ballista is not really. Alright, well, we've got Tron, we got a Maze Mine Tome on the way, as well as... I'm going to put back Sylvan Scrying. I think I'd rather have Redundant Mines. Start by playing a mine, pass the turn. Wormcoil is pretty good versus their deck, and a Maze Mine Tome on turn 2 is also really good. Okay, opponent starts Champion of the Parish. We draw... Forest. Play Power Plant. Play Maze Mine Tome. Go ahead and go Scrying. Great Creator. I will keep on top. Pass the turn. Especially our opponent not having an Aether Vial hand. Throwing down Wormcoil and then playing Karn Great Creator is a pretty good line versus humans. It means that something like Trinisphere could potentially really slow them down. Actually, we might even do that first, depending on what our opponent plays here. Because then they can't, like... If this is a Thalia's Lieutenant... Alright, second champion. Okay, now... Trinisphere is a bit worse. Mainly because they've played a lot of their hand. It still might be correct to grab. I left Karn on top, didn't I? Alright, we'll draw Karn. Do we play Wormcoil first, or do we play Karn first? Play Tower. Karn Bridge doesn't really stop them from attacking. Yeah, let's play Wormcoil. Oh gosh, I need to restart the client. Alright. We're going to go ahead and scry with Tome. Ugin would be ideal. Map to the bottom. Pass the turn. So the worst spell I think our opponent could have for us right now is like a Path, which I think they do run. I don't know if they would keep it in against Tron. Reflector Mage would also suck a lot. Alright, Reflector Mage. This way, at least, Ensnaring Bridge hopefully does something. Okay, opponent hits us for 7, we go to 9. Untap. Scry. Thragtusk is tempting, but I don't think we can keep a Thragtusk. We need to make sure our hand is as small as possible. Alright. Planners is mine. Play Karn. Wish. Walking Ballista doesn't do anything here. Yeah, it's got to be Bridge at this point. If they have an answer for this, we're going to be real sad and very, very dead. Alright, pass the turn. If our opponent can't kill us this turn, we should stabilize. They can't play any humans pre-combat, or otherwise they have to attack with even less. Next turn, we will be able to gain life off of Maze Mind Tome, which will help a little bit. We're still looking for Ugin. On it, thinking hard. Goes to combat. Attacks us. Attacks Karn. Okay. Karn down. We get hit for 2. Down to 7. You don't have a Skyclave Apparition, or we would have died. 3 white mana for Militia Bugler. They get a Meddling Mage, but they can't play it this turn. They know we have Wormcoil. They play Aether Vial. We untap. Scry at our upkeep. We do not want to draw extra cards because we have Bridge. Karn liberated to the bottom. We don't need a second one. We get a star. So play Forest. Probably going to play Karn and Star and not draw with Star. Play Karn. Play Star. I think the best way for us to disrupt them is to take away their Horizon Canopy here. If they can get a Skyclave Apparition, we lose on the spot. So we need to find an Ugin or an O-Stone prior to that in order to win. Alright, opponent can't do anything. So we untap, we draw Chromatic Sphere. Crack Star for green. We're not likely going to need... Okay, well there's a panic button. So play O-Stone. Play Sphere. Sweet. Alright, I'll see you guys in round 4. Alrighty, round 4, here we go. Alright, we've got better hands of 6. We've got better hands of 5. Lots of mulligans this league. This one should work. We'll put back Blast Zone and a star. Hopefully our Chromatic Star Ancient Stirrings can get us to a power plant. We are also on the draw, which I think slightly increases our chances. And hate here would be bad for us. Alright. Opponent should take Chromatic Star, I think. They could take Ancient Stirrings, we have less of that effect to top deck, but if they leave us with Star, potentially we could top deck a Sylvan Scrying. So I think they take Star here. They do. We untap. Players is mine. Pass the turn. Upon an Inquisition, they get to take Ancient Stirrings. Stomping Ground tapped. This looks like it might be just regular Jund, except Mishra's Bauble tells me that it might be Death Shadow. Interesting no Luris reveal. Alright, opponent gets to draw an extra card. We draw a Power Plant. I believe the phrase is never didn't always have it. Apparently opponent just concedes. They somehow knew we had the Tron. I don't really know what that's about, but okay. We're gonna bring in Veils. I'm gonna drop, I think, Thragtusk, O-Stone, and a Wormcoil. I don't know if that's right, but that kind of feels like what's most relevant here. They didn't even know we had Tron. They couldn't have seen it. Oh no, they could have bobbled us, actually. Never mind. I wasn't paying attention. Alright, Mulligan to 5. Mulligan to 4. Alright, I guess we're keeping 4. We're gonna put back Ugin, Sanctum, and Sphere, I guess? Oh, this is not great. Hopefully we can start Forest and just hold up Veil. Alright. When it starts Raging Ravine, plays Mishra's Bauble, looks at the top card of our deck. They could just be playing Bauble as a way to turn on Delirium for, what's it called? The Grimflayer. Grimflayer is the card. I was like really drawing a blank there for a second. I'm just going to leave up Veil of Summer. Ancient Stirrings potentially gives us a much higher power level start. Alright, opponent plays Wrenn and 6. It looks like a minimal hand-hate hand here. So they tick up Wrenn and 6 to 4. We untap and draw Blast Zone. Ancient Stirrings here. Take Tower. Rest of the bottom. Play Mine. Pass the turn. So they know we have the 2 Tron pieces. Probably should have played Tower if that's what I did there, but I didn't. Okay, opponent Inquisitions. They pretty much have to take Sylvan Scrying here. They don't have a second black mana source for a second hand hate spell. Veil of Summer is nice, but we're not going to be playing it on curve. They take Veil. That's interesting. They might have a Fulminator Mage or like a Field of Ruin then. They play Goyf. Draw Karn, Great Creator. Play Tower. Get Power Plant. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Verdant Catacombs. Cracks it. Gets a Swamp. Upticks Wrenn and 6 to 6. Plays Blood Moon. Okay, that makes sense. They get in. We draw Karn, Great Creator. Play Urza's Power Plant. Karn. Go ahead and Wish. And let's get... Wormcoil Engine would be nice if we could actually resolve it. I'm kind of glad I put one into the sideboard. I think we get O-Stone, actually. That's the turn. The problem now is my opponent will be able to alt Wrenn and 6, and they can probably interact with O-Stone on board. Double black. Okay, they play Luris. Play Wooded Foothills. Kill Karn. Yep, Karn down. Uptick Wrenn and 6 to 7. Play Bauble. They look at the top card of our deck. Okay. We draw an Urza's Mine. Play Mine. Play Stone. They gotta have a Maelstrom Pulse or an Abrupt Decay or an Assassin's Trophy here. They can alt Wrenn and 6, which would be pretty bad for us. Okay, Seal of Primordium works as well. Take out O-Stone. Alt Wrenn and 6. Now they can cast as many Inquisitions as they can retrace. Hit us for 8. They go to 9, or we go to 9, they go to 21. We draw Wormcoil. Play Wormcoil. My opponent can play a Seal of Primordium, and if they have a kill spell in addition, they can take out the Death Touch half of Wormcoil Engine. We do need a way to deal with Luris. The opponent plays Lily. They're going to make us sack, sure. Get some tokens. So they hit the Death Touch one. They hit us for 6. I think we got a chump block here. Otherwise the math is just not going to work out in our favor. We untap and draw Maze Mind Tome. Play Karn. Down tick. I don't think we really have any good plays. Guess I'm gonna get Grafdigger's Cage. I think our opponent's got us this time. Okay, they make us discard Maze Mind Tome. Opponent discards Inquisition of Kozilek. Okay, opponent plays a Wrenn and 6. Pings us for 1 down to 5. We untap. Draw Ulamog. We're just gonna go ahead and scoop it up. Okay. Moving on to round 3. I think we do need Wilts for Blood Moon. Relic seems not as important. We could also bring in Thragtusk and leave 1 Wormcoil in the side. I think I'm going to drop an Ulamog for a Thragtusk, simply because it's something that's slightly better to do if Blood Moon comes down. Alright, we'll play first, which is a huge advantage for us. Got a Mulligan, can't keep a 1-lander. Got a Mulligan, can't keep a no-lander. Lots of Mulligans this league. We're definitely getting the short end of variance most of the time. Alright, we'll keep 5 of these. We're going to put back Sphere and Star. Play Tower. So opponent's probably going to start Inquisition. If they start Thoughtseize, they take Karn, and then we don't have a bomb, but that's fine. I don't think they have like Natural State or anything for an onboard expedition map. The Inquisition, so they take Sylvan Scrying. If we top deck a Tron piece that isn't Urza's Tower, though, we'll have turn 3 Tron. Okay, unfortunately we do not. Expedition map, let's go ahead and get a Mine. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent plays a Bauble. Cracks Bauble. Plays a Verdant Catacombs. Cracks Verdant Catacombs. Gets a Blood Crypt tapped. Alright, slower hand for our opponent, it looks like. Inquisition, whiff. We untap, they draw a card, we draw a Wormcoil Engine, play Mine. So they saw us draw a Wormcoil Engine. Problem now is our opponent can land a Blood Moon. Especially with a Forest there, it's pretty good. They play Luris, they do not have Blood Moon. So we basically are in top deck power plant mode. We could Ancient Stirrings into a power plant, which would be pretty good. Alright, well we drew a forest, so play a forest, pass the turn. Still no power plant, still no tutor for power plant. Now Sylvan Scrying is a good top deck that can immediately assemble Tron for us. Inquisition whiffs again. Pretty sure they knew what was in our hand, too. Okay, they bobble, presumably looking at the top card of our deck. Play a Stomping Ground untapped. Blood Moon. Alright. Well, now we're on the hard cast plan. Draw tower, play tower, pass the turn. We're 1 land away from playing Wormcoil Engine and 2 lands from Karn. My opponent is drawing a ton of extra cards. Interesting that they're playing Lurrus as just a creature in the deck, but I guess that makes sense. Okay, we draw Karn, Great Creator. So play Karn, Great Creator. Let's go ahead and wish. I don't think it's worth it to pick up the Grave Hate here, because my opponent will just nuke it. We're going to take Walking Ballista, because we can at least Walking Ballista to kill Lurrus. This also forces our opponent to take a turn off of attacking us and have to attack Karn. Second Lurrus would be bad for us, but... Yep, opponent casts Bauble from the grave. They have to kill Karn first before they can do anything, though. Oh, actually, if we kill Lurrus, our opponent can't recast it right now. Okay, opponent cracks Bauble. Opponent has drawn 7 more cards than us right now. It's pretty good. Well, I guess not technically, but we had to mulligan, so I guess there's 7 cards ahead. We get a Wilt. That doesn't really change anything. So play Ballista on 2. And go ahead and kill Lurrus. I don't want my opponent to replay anything else. It's a little late, but at least it's been dealt with. We still just need to top deck 1 land. Pass the turn. We could land a Wormcoil here, that'd be fantastic. Okay, opponent plays a Bauble out of hand. Cracks it. Okay, opponent plays a Kroxa, so we're going to discard Ulamog. Opponent hits us for 5. We untap, they draw, we draw Ugin. Honestly, I think I cycle Wilt here. Okay, Maze Mind Tome is good. Fortunately, we don't get to draw, but we do get to scry. Put a land on top, pass the turn. But we are dead to Bolt or reanimate Kroxa. Okay, opponent Thought Seizes, they can take Wormcoil, which means we have to scry to try and hit Thragtusk. But we're probably just dead. Yeah, I think our opponent was waiting for us to scry into something we were going to leave on top for a Thoughtseize. So put Urza's Mine on the bottom, draw Urza's Mine, and we don't have 7 mana, so scoop it up. That's unfortunate. Alright, I'll see you guys in round 5. Opponent just drew too many cards that game. Their initial clock was very slow, but they basically doubled their draw speed to answers off of Lurrus. So, alright, round 5. I like the fact that we've won at least a game every round. Alright, we'll keep. This is a turn 3 Karn Great Creator. And it looks like we're against mono red, so it's going to be a little bit of a toss-up here. This is the Obosh variety. Okay. Star Scrying is slightly better than Map Activate here. Okay, opponent plays Sunbaked Canyon, basically because we get a redraw in addition to tutoring for our land. So we might be able to hit a Wormcoil Engine or something like that that might be better against Burn. If they have main deck Blood Moon, we're going to be sad. Okay, opponent stomps us for 2, hits us for 2 more, we go down to 15. Okay, play Power Plant. Crack Star for green, draw a card. Sylvan Scrying, get Tower. Pass the turn, and we'll see if it's good enough. Ensnaring Bridge not being good here kind of sucks. Okay, opponent bolts our face. We go to 12. They might have a light up the stage. We're definitely wishing for Trinisphere to try and slow this down. Lava Dart. Okay, we're currently sitting at a virtual 8. Ooh, a lot lower than that. They could take us to 2 if they flash back their Lava Darts. They hit us for 4. We'll go down to 6. If we wish for Trinisphere, If they sack Lava Dart and don't have a land, and we wish for Trinisphere, they can't play anything unless they have another land. And if they sack both of their mountains to Lava Darts, they can't cast anything, and that guarantees us a turn. Okay. So, if they have Mutagenic Growth, we die as their last card in hand, but that would be pretty good. Okay, we go to 2. We untap, draw Sylvan Scrying, play Urza's Tower. Play Karn. Go ahead and wish. We'll get Trinisphere. Play Trinisphere. Pass the turn. Opponent can only do 1 damage this turn, which guarantees we get another wish with Karn. Opponent attacks us for 1 down to 1. Okay, we untap. Draw Maze Mind Tome. So we wish. Get Walking Ballista. Play an Urza's Mine. Actually, gonna Walking Ballista X3 instead of X4, because then I can play Maze Mind Tome. Opponent can't cast anything, so we're gonna go ahead and kill Ballista now, or kill Swift Spear now, I mean. Play Maze Mind Tome. Scry. We do need to find a way to gain life, even though our opponent is at least 2 turns away from casting a spell. Alright. Weather the Storm in, Wilt in, Spatial Contortion in. Ulamog's out, Relics out. They're not good versus Lava Dart, basically. And then I think I cut a Karn Liberated here. Alright, can't keep that. Can't keep that either. This might be our best bet. 4 cards is pretty low. We only have 1 land tutor. Yeah, let's rely on the power of Maze Mind Tome. Put back Wormcoil, put back Star. This is not a great hand of 5. We technically do have better hands of 4, they're just not likely. And considering this version of our opponent's deck does run Blood Moon, I think keeping a hand with a forest in it is actually pretty good. Alright. Opponent did keep a hand of 7. Starts Mountain. Soulscar Mage. Okay. Draw Thragtusk. Not a bad way to start. Pass the turn. If we can make it to 5 mana, even if our opponent Blood Moons, we at least have some action to keep us in the game then. Okay, opponent plays a Fiery Islet. Second Soulscar Mage. That's slightly concerning. That's us for 1. Okay, no blocks. They're probably saving Lightning Bolts to get multiple pumps. Okay, we draw Karn, Great Creator. Sack Star for green. Sylvan Scrying. We'll get a Mine. Pass the turn. Oof. Pillage hurts. Okay, opponent hits us for 4. We untap. We draw Tower, which is nice. Play Maze Mind Tome. Let's go ahead and scry. Wormcoil to the bottom. We're going to need something sooner than Wormcoil. Even though Wormcoil is great, we're going to need something sooner than Wormcoil. Alright, Blood Moon. If my opponent... They must have top-decked that, because if my opponent had Pillage and Blood Moon, they should have pillaged the basic land, not the Tron piece. Opponent's going to hit us for 6 down to 6. We might be too far away from casting anything, unfortunately, but I guess we'll find out. We need, like, Weather the Storm, or Contortion. Ugin's too expensive. Put Ugin to the bottom. We draw a Star, play Tower, play Star. Crack Star for green. Okay, Sylvan Scrying. Get a Forest. Pass the turn. Yeah, my opponent has to have, like, literal nothing. Which, even if they have lands, they can put Obosh in their hand this turn and hit us for 2. And then if we play Karn and they cast Obosh, we just die. Okay, they cast Light Up the Stage. If they hit any spell, we're dead. Okay, Seasoned Pyromancer, not technically a spell. Opponent hits us for 4. For mana off of Thragtusk, we need a way to... Stirrings doesn't do it. Another Maze Mind Tome doesn't do it either. Alright. If our opponent hadn't pillaged us, we could cast Thragtusk. So our opponent needed Pillage and Blood Moon there. I guess Walking Ballista in over Ugin, I guess. No, we want Ugin. I'm actually going to cut another Karn Liberated. While Karn Liberated is part of our ideal hand versus our opponent's deck, it's not good in the average case. This is really the first time I've cited out Karns in a long time, but it can be correct to do so versus aggro decks like humans, if you have sideboard slots that you want to bring in, because taking out one threat doesn't really matter when your opponent has 5. Wish that there was another Tron piece in that hand. Alright, I'm going to keep this. I'm going to put back Ballista. Yeah, I'm going to put back Ballista. We'll start Power Plant Sphere. Opponent kept 7. If we can get down a Worm Coil, we're in a really good spot, but that's if we can get down a Worm Coil. Alright. Power Plant Sphere, pass the turn. Opponent starts Mountain. Swift Spear. Gets in for 1. 19. We untap. Draw Karn Liberated. Crack for green. We get a map. Ancient Stirrings. We get a Maze Mind Tome. Sphere. We're going to take the Sphere. Rest to the bottom. Play Tower. Play Map. It's a little awkward because we can't even tutor for the land that produces 3 mana on the turn we're going to have Tron. Opponent plays a Mountain. They are 2 1-drops or Stomps. Okay. They stomp us down to 17, hit us for 2. We untap. Draw Urza's Mine. Awesome. Better to play Worm Coil or Karn here? I think it's better to Karn away a land because we're preventing them from casting a Pillage or a Blood Moon. Even if we lose Karn here, at least it was a Fog. Our opponent generally does not play a lot of lands, and if we can stop them from playing their powerful 3-drops, we're going to be in a pretty good spot. Okay, opponent Firebolts Karn. They get Lava Dart Karn as a follow-up, or they can just attack. Okay, so Stone Rain was pretty good there. We untap. We draw Tower. Okay, play Chromatic Sphere. Crack it for green. We get a Wilt. I do like Wilt. Crack Map. Let's get a Sanctum or another Forest. Let's get a Sanctum, actually. Play a second Tower so we can resolve Worm Coil this turn. Okay. Pass the turn. But it plays a Mountain. Blood Moon. Okay. I'm glad we hit the land there. My opponent taking a turn off to play Blood Moon is not particularly good. We draw Maze Mind Tome. I think I'm going to Wilt just so I can use Maze Mind Tome to draw an extra card. Play Star. Go to combat. Attack for 6 and gain 6. Every time this Worm Coil connects, our opponent's chances of winning the game go way down. Okay, opponent pillages Worm Coil. Wow. We untap. I'm going to actually draw extra cards. I don't think I'm going to scry. Karn, Great Creator. So play Sanctum. Go to combat. Attack for 6. No blocks. Opponent takes 6. Goes to 7. Play Karn. Alright, opponent scoops it up. We go 3-2. Honestly, the way that those matches turned out, either one of our losses could have gone either way. Let's open up our treasure chest, see what we get. 15 play points and a Dire Fleet Ravager. Alright, well that gets us up to enough play points for 2 leagues. So versus the burn deck, Dismember would have been castable, and Spatial Contortion basically never would have been castable. But I don't know that we had the life to ever cast Dismember. I'm still not super decided on that. I think dropping a Relic for a second O-Stone is pretty reasonable. I don't really want the 4th Maze Mind Tome, as they're generally not good in duplicates. So I think 3 is fine there still. Dropping a Relic for a Walking Ballista would also be okay, but in general, it's not that great unless it's a top deck after Tron. Using it to take out mana dorks and stuff like that is sometimes relevant and is a completely reasonable decision if you decide that that's what you want to be doing or you think that's better in your local meta. I'd recommend it. But I don't really have a lot else to say right now. I haven't really felt any other particular direction to go with this deck is better than what I'm doing right now. If at least they're all roughly comparable is what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that what I'm doing here is the best. I'm saying that this configuration is on par with other tier 1 configurations of this deck. So, and this is my personal preference for playing this one. So, if you disagree, please let me know in the comments below. I'm always interested to hear other people's takes. I'm still not going to put Crucible Worlds in the sideboard, and I know that's hotly contested, but I think that card is garbage in Tron. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. If you want to support this channel, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined, and remember you can follow me on Twitch, same username over there as you find me on here. I stream Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I might stream later today. I don't know. It depends on how I'm feeling and, you know, how the rest of my day goes. I'm starting my strict quarantine for the next 14 days. So hopefully I get to stream a little bit more often. We'll see what I have energy for. Anyway, I've rambled enough. I'll see you guys next time. You're all wonderful human beings, and thank you for your support. Bye!